Hey, good evening, everyone in the USA, all over the world, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, the misunderstood lonely nomad, YouTuber, host with the most, the unstoppable independent podcaster, and rookie podcaster of Queens, New York. And you are now listening, tuning in, rocking with the 136th episode of Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York podcast. And we got a great show for you today. We are live and direct from YouTube and StreamYard. And of course, alongside of myself is the Instagram live feed of the podcast show page. So make sure you turn your notifications on Instagram so you don't miss me in action while I'm on the air and on Instagram live and stuff. And by the way, if you are coming into the Instagram live stream, make sure you say hi. Make sure you comment on the topics and your thoughts and talks and the questions you have for me or anything like that whatsoever. You can put it in the comment section right there. Um Also, make sure you tap the subscribe button and also press the noti bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, more video content. Leave a like and a comment alongside with the episodes and topics, and of course, share the videos, share the episodes, and download the episodes, which is very important. And I will go over the audio streaming platforms on the go at the end of the show. Um Now I'm not gonna do mental health check-in today because I want to actually get this out the way. So we're gonna go into a little segment that I like to call the New York Mass Transit Files, and we got some transit news that we got to talk about. So let's just make some noise for this. So let's go. All right, you guys know the routine. This is a segment in regards to what's going on behind the scenes of the MTA New York City Transit and stuff like that. As a New Yorker, I feel that it's very important to actually touch on that. We got a couple stories to get into, so let's get into it right now. First one has to do with the mask mandate. Um, Now, and this is according to AM New York, and this is what it's talking about here. So fewer people are wearing masks in New York City subways than ever before since the MTA started counting compliance with federal COVID-19 mandate. More than 1 in 6 riders, or 17%, wore no mask on subway trains, while another 13 donned the face coverings incorrectly, according to the latest counts by the Metropolitan Transportation Authority from March 7th to the 18th. That's a bump. That's a 9% bump of strap hangers flouting the rules out of Washington compared to February, and the highest rate of maskless riders since the MTA began publishing the data almost 2 years ago. The drop in compliance follows the city and state officials lifting masking requirements for nearly all other settings in recent weeks, while keeping the rules on mass transit and at a small number of other facilities like hospitals, nursing homes, and homeless shelters. Mayor Eric Adams on March 7th did away with mandatory masks for kids in kindergarten through 12th grade schools, and plans to end the requirement for 2 to 4 year olds next week on April 4th, which was last week. No, actually, it was this. Yeah, it was this week. Yeah. Um, if city coronavirus stats remain low, um, COVID-19 infection rates have been slowly climbing again over the past week to 2.29% across a 7-day average as of Saturday compared to 1.87% the week before, according to statewide figures by Governor Kathy Hochul's office. State officials are monitoring the Omicron subvariant known as BA2, which has driven up cases in the UK and made up 51.8% of cases here, according to recent data from the US Health and Human Services Region 2, which includes New York, New Jersey, Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. Oh gosh. Hold on. Hold on a minute here. Hold on. Yeah, of course, meanwhile, the Federal Transportation Security Administration recently extended the nationwide mask mandate for mass transit indoor stations and airports until April 18th. Um, One maskless rider in Brooklyn said she has been very diligent about wearing the face coverings earlier in the slamdemic and still keeps it on inside train cars, but has started taking it off at stations if it's not too crowded. Um, I'm a bit more lenient now," said Christina Solis at the Carroll Street station Sunday afternoon. "If it was crowded, but right now there is not that many people. Bus riders adhere um adhere better to the rules than hold on a second. Those on the rails as they have for the entire slamdemic. Figures on the buses were also slightly down, with 7% not wearing the coverings compared to 4% the month before, and 17% wearing them incorrectly versus 13% previously, according to the latest MTA data from February 21st to March 4th. Uh, just before the city school mandates ended. One rider advocate said that the 83% of riders who wore a mask on subway trains was still relatively high and chalked up the downward trend to more tourists visiting the city who may not know the rules and more locals ditching the coverings as they have been able to do nearly everywhere else in their daily lives. The number is still relatively high considering that so many people, just in general, aren't wearing masks anymore, said Lisa Daglian, um, executive director of the Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee and an in-house rider advocacy group for the MTA. A pair of out-of-state riders who were waiting for a Manhattan-bound train sans face covering at the J Street Metro Tech station in Brooklyn said they weren't even aware that the COVID rules were still in place. "We didn't know about the mandate," said Gary Biggs, who was visiting from Arizona. "I don't want to wear one, but I will if I have to," added his wife, Jenny Biggs. According to MTA's own rider survey from the fall, New Yorkers rank COVID safety number one among their concerns about returning to transit ahead of crime and service reliability. Among lapsed riders, 80% cited concerns about the slamdemic as a reason for using a different mode, of transportation, while 62% of current riders did, compared to 68% and 49% fearing crime and harassment, and 29% and 35% worrying about reliability and question they found. Those stats were before a series of shocking incidents brought crime to the forefront of many New Yorkers' minds and the incoming Adams administration, most notably the homeless man who allegedly shoved Michelle Go to her death in front of a train at Times Square in January. The numbers also predate the outbreak of the highly contagious Omicron variant, which tore through the state and infected as many as 90,000 a day 2 months ago. Uh, I think I would feel more comfortable in the little subway car for that little bit of time with a mask, said strap hanger Gerald Wagner, also at the Carroll Street stop in Brooklyn. As long as there's a mandate, I'll wear it. Cops can boot riders for not wearing masks and fine them $50, but police have been reluctant to heavily enforce those rules, issuing just 76 tickets between September 2020 and the end of 2021. Honestly, there's been no enforcement, and that's been a concern, said D- Daglian of PCAC. The MTA has been doing semi-regular promotion events known as Mask Force, distributing free masks to riders and stations, and the agency plans to send out volunteers and staff for another round Tuesday, March 29th. The authority has also plastered the system with prominent yellow signs and regularly run announcements in stations, letting passengers know that they still have to wear the mask. MTA chairperson and CEO Jenna Lieber told Long Island business leaders he thinks there shouldn't be a mandate on transit anymore, and that he wouldn't add any agency to rule to any agency rule to keep them if the TSA lets the law sunset in 3 weeks, Newsday reported. I'm hoping that the mask mandate will come off, not because I have any status as an epidemiologist, but because mask mandates have come off in the rest of society, Lieber told the Long Island Association Thursday. I don't want people getting into arguments on the railroads and on the subways. In the meantime, we are all going to keep complying, the transit guru added. Yeah. And I don't know if I should read these comments, but I'm gonna get into it anyway. Since I'm here. Um So this person says, I'm part of the most vulnerable group. If I catch COVID, I'm over 75. I'm also one of those who told the MTA that fear of COVID was preventing me from using subways and buses. My half fare card isn't worth the risk of a decreased lifespan or one spent recovering from long term COVID. I've been also been watching the number of COVID cases on a daily basis. Mr. Lieber apparently is not. They stopped going down at the beginning of March. They started increasing around March 15th. Manhattan's new case rate is higher than the other boroughs. That's hardly the basis to declare victory and take steps to prevent another wave. Another person says, in the before times ever upper respiratory infection I caught from riding the subway when NYC was the epicenter of the North American outbreak. I was still riding the subway as an essential worker, but with a mask every day. Every day since the virus started killing here, I've been on the subway wearing masks 2 years and no runny nose, no sore throat, no chest congested with sputum cough. Ain't no way I will ever ride the NYC subways maskless ever again. Ain't no way. And another person says, um, I would suggest that anybody riding the subway wear a mask. The stench of homeless individuals is nauseating. The smell from work trains that emit diesel fumes is sickening. There is a century's worth of dirt permeating the air as well. I'm not sure if the masks prevent COVID, but why take the risk? So another person says there's no enforcement. Greatest non-mask day on the transit was St. Patrick's Day with all the uniformed riders riding without masks. If people were required to wear a mask to ride, they wear a mask. No enforced requirement, no requirement. People can't be relied on to do the right thing anymore. Freedom to be stupid, irresponsible, and even violent when desired. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Um, Another person says you're right on the mark. Um, cool observer. I agree 100% with you. There isn't any MTA NYPD enforcement nor the issuing of a $50 fine. Despite the Federal Transportation Security Administration recently extending the nationwide mask mandate for mass transit indoor stations and airports until April 18th, which is mentioned in the article, Governor Hochul and Mayor Adams have ignored it, and frankly, they don't care that much about it. It's the same on MTA city buses. Although the people who won't wear face masks on subways and buses are a risk themselves, they also don't care for the neighbors, especially seniors, because they have no sense of community. Yeah, yeah, I could agree with that. Um, Masks don't work. Stop the theater. If they do, tell Congress to put them back on during the State of the Union. Let's stop the nonsense. Where if you want. People will always believe things with no evidence. Dead people is no evidence that X was the problem. Find a study that is am unambiguous that X is real. Contagious and can hurt people. You would never find it. People have died of many things, especially intentional malpractice, technically called murder. No religion has ever been believed as strongly as X. Shameful how fear is the number one weapon of authority. Yeah, I completely agree with this story. Um, of course, we have an update on the mask mandate. We got another update on this thing. So, some obviously, obviously, some okay, we got some bad news here. Um, in regards to the whole mask mandate. All right, so travelers will need to mask up on planes, trains, and buses through at least May 3rd. The federal transportation mask mandate announced in January 2021 and due to expire on Monday will be extended 15 days because of an increase in COVID cases in the US, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The Associated Press first reported the extension. Since early April, there have been increases in the 7-day moving average of cases in the US. In order to assess the potential impact the rise of cases has on severe disease, including hospitalizations and deaths, and healthcare systems capacity, the CDC order will remain in place at this time, reads a statement from CDC spokesperson Caitlin Shockey. Um, yeah, hang on a second. All right, the 7-day moving average for coronavirus cases in US was nearly 30,500 on Monday, up 21 percent from the week before. The CDC statement notes that the agency continues to monitor the spread of the Omicron coronavirus variant especially the BA2 subvariant that now makes up more than 85% of US cases. Oh boy. Oh boy. Um This is the fifth federal mask mandate extension and comes despite repeated pleas from airlines and other travel industry officials to drop it and other restrictions, including a coronavirus test requirement for travelers flying into the U.S. Delta CEO Ed Bastian um, said Wednesday that it's time to let the mask go and let people decide. I feel very strongly that the mask mandate should be lifted and let individuals, including our own employees, make their own decisions and take personal accountability for their health on board our planes, he said in an interview with CNBC. Bastian said he may still wear a mask when he travels if he has a cold or is sick. Okay. In a letter Monday to the new White House coronavirus response coordinator, Dr. Ash Ashish Jaha, Airlines for America, the U.S. Travel Association, and two other business groups renewed their call for a repeal of the mask mandate. They say the rules no longer make sense given stable case trends, including falling hospitalizations and are hurting travel demand. The science clearly supports lifting the mask mandate, particularly in the context of the recent CDC guidance, which found that the overwhelming majority of the U.S. population no longer needs to wear masks indoors, the letter said. Numerous studies and public health experts have demonstrated that planes are among the safest of indoor environments due to the superior ventilation and hospital grade air filters on commercial aircrafts. Um, so attorneys general in more than 20 mostly Republican led states filed a lawsuit seeking to overturn the federal face mask requirement for transportation. In a written statement, Arizona Attorney General Mark Barnovic called it a ridiculously burdensome policy. The new expiration date for the federal mask mandate will push the length of time U.S. airline passengers have had to wear a mask to the 2-year mark. JetBlue Airways was the first carrier to impose a mask requirement in early May 2020 and was quickly followed by competitors. Airlines, unions, and consumer advocates pushed their federal government for months to mandate the policy, so flight attendants had backing when um, encountering passenger resistance, but they weren't successful until President Joe Biden took office. In mid-January, Bastian said it was premature to speculate on when passengers would be able to fly without masks. Obviously, that's going to be driven by the medical experts and not by the airlines, and will follow their guidance, he said on the airline's quarterly earnings conference call. Southwest Airlines CEO Gary Kelly drew criticism at the Senate hearing in December 2021 for saying masks don't do much on planes. I think the case is very strong that masks don't add much, if anything, in the air cabin environment, Kelly said. It is very safe and high quality compared to any other indoor setting. Some international airlines, including British Airways, no longer require masks, and mask mandates have been broadly lifted across the country. When the Transportation Security Administration and CDC announced the 1-month mask extension in March, officials said they would use that time to work with the government agencies to help inform a revised policy framework for them and under what circumstances masks should be required in the public transportation corridor. This revised framework will be used on the COVID-19 community levels, risks of new variants, national data, and the latest science. The agency said in a statement at the time. Hmm. Um, Hold on, folks. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on a minute here. Um, just a sec. All right. Wait a second. Wait, where would I forget where? Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Um, in the setting. Yeah. All right. So let's go into the next transit issue. Um, I need. Let's go to. Hold on a second. BQE. Okay. Okay, this caught my attention actually. I saw this. Um all right, so this is a story from ANNY the website. Um they may have taken away their shelter, but they are still hanging around the highway in Brooklyn. On March 28th, NYPD officers, sanitation workers, and homeless outreach undertook a major removal of homeless encampments from under the Brooklyn Queens Expressway in Williamsburg. One week, the hold on a second. Yeah, 1 week later, the repercussions can still be felt. Walking beneath the BQE a week later on April 4th revealed a vastly different sight than what could be observed in March. What used to be house a stretch of tents now, at first glance, seems mostly devoid of human life. However, some of the rough sleepers who called the area home still linger, as do the remnants of their lives. As Mayor Eric Adams defended himself amidst criticism for removing encampments, he stated it is still legal for people to sleep on the streets, but not for them to build um, miniature houses. This is exactly what can be found around the stretch of the expressway. People could still be seen dozing in sleeping bags near the BQE in concrete parking lot, um, and laid out on the patches of grass as vehicles speed by. Those who did move away return on a daily basis to hang out in their former home. Robert is one of these individuals wandering around the BQE cloaked in a blanket. He feels the homeless are the last minority population that are freely marginalized. We're suffering from hard times. We're suffering from hard times, and they are trying to kick us out of our homes. It is very difficult, Robert said. They pull some slick stuff. They tape the eviction notice with loose tape, and the wind sends them flying away. They do it on purpose. These sweeps came at the worst time for Robert. He told AM New York Metro that his 12-year-old daughter passed away in January, and he now keeps the ashes around his neck. Becoming emotional, he said he must preserve. Life has not become any easier being forced to pack up and leave last week. He says he will strive to remain on the move in hopes of staying one step ahead of the sweeps. And although he does not blame the NYPD for doing the jobs, he does say he blames local government. Another aspect of the sweeps is an ongoing effort to clean up drug from the city streets. However, the BQE is currently far from clean. An undeniable part of homeless life is drug use and alcohol intake. For many, it is a coping mechanism to deal with the harsh reality of the world as it is on the streets, since sufficient medical and mental attention comes with a hefty price tag. For others, it is what drove them to homelessness. On March 30th, Mayor Adams stood before an army of journalists in City Hall and pointed to a blown up photograph of stack of needles, citing it as being intolerable. Nevertheless, a week later, the signs of drug use could still be found near the BQE. Although campsites, bags of shoes and clothing, mattresses, and other belongings were crushed in the back of a sanitation truck, drug paraphernalia can still be seen littering the sidewalks over from the sweeps. Yeah, that's gotta suck though, man, for these homeless people and stuff, man. I mean, but he's at least the mayor's doing something about it though. You know what I'm saying? At least he's doing something about that. I mean, it's a hard job to do. I mean, but somebody's gotta do it. Let's see what other trends and news we could talk about here. Oh, yes. Yes. In other trends and news, the MTA is making moves to upgrade its ancient subway signals along 3 more lines, which will allow the agency to run trains more frequently and on time in parts of Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority wants to hire engineering consultants to design and plan so-called communication-based train control, or CBTC, on the next batch of subway lines, according to documents published Friday for this week's monthly agency meetings. The proposed contract describes the stretches of track-eyed for new signals in terms of the former independent subway system, or IND, one of 3 rail networks that were um, consolidated into the MTA. The MTA's construction and development subsidiary wants to contract firms Atkins and HT&B for $18 million over 2 years to provide general engineering consultant services related to modernizing the 3 lines, according to the board documents. This will require approval from the full MTA board when it meets Wednesday. The MTA renewed focus on the G train was previously reported by the Daily News. CBT replaces the subway's depression era signaling system, which does not actually let transit workers know where exactly trains are at any given time. The new setup tells officials at the subway nerve center, the rail control center, where trains are within inches, allowing the agency to run them closer together safely and increase frequency of service. The older signals, which also act as traffic lights for trains, can also get stuck in the stop position, sometimes stalling subways for hours until repair crews can get underground to reset them by hand. Train delays still happen because red lights get stuck and won't turn green, said Danny Perlstein, the policy and communications director with the transit advocacy group Riders Alliance. There are other things that can go wrong with our antiquated signal system, but the fact is, a lot of the equipment belongs in a museum, and we're still depending on it to get home at the end of the day. Transit officials could not give a timeline for the three new lines getting the signal upgrades, but the agency has been working to install CBTC on the Queens Boulevard line on the E, F, M, and R, the 8th Avenue line on the A, C, and E in Manhattan, and the Culver line on the F train in Brooklyn. The current and future work combined will mean that CBT will be on the A and C lines from Euclid Avenue in Brooklyn through to 59th Street, Columbus Circle in Midtown, and for most of the F line to no, the F line from Jamaica to Coney Island. The L and the 7 trains already have the tech and are among the MTA's best performing lines. The technology debuted on the L train in 2009, and the 7th line became the second to get CBTC in 2019. MTA has set aside more than $7 billion in the current 2020 to 2024 capital plan for signal modernization on 6 lines. There are 2 remaining lines the agency wants to upgrade as part of the 5-year spending plan. Lexington Avenue, line 4, 5, and 6 trains running between Grand Concourse, 149th Street in the Bronx, and Nevin Street in Brooklyn, Astoria line, and in W trains between Ditmars Boulevard and Queens Boulevard and 57th Street in Manhattan. The work um, will likely require regular weeknight and weekend closures along the lines. And Perlstein said the MTA should work with the city to provide good alternatives for rides, such as a busway along Brooklyn's Fulton Street corridor, similar to the 14th Street busway in Manhattan, which originally grew out of the L train shutdown in 2019. While the work is going on, the MCA and the city need to give greater attention to giving riders other options, the advocate said. Yeah, they should have done this shit long time ago. I could actually believe that shit too, man. Yeah. Yeah, so this person says, for once, I really wish that those on the NCA board would, for once, leave their offices and reserve the Queens Boulevard EFMR lines with CBTC and its long record of near daily failures in service pass off as signal failures. If one looks at the Queens Boulevard line with clear eyes, it is easy to see that it won't ever reach the goals set out for it by the CBTC plan. For once, I wish that the New York media, AM New York included, would take a second look at the garbage that is being fed to it by the MCA before regurgitating it to the public. Not every signal is ancient. Before the CBTC plans, the subways had its own signal modernization plans in the 1990s. Want more? Read my book, The New York City Subways Motorman's Rant on Amazon. All right. Let's see. Okay, what else can we talk about today? There's gotta be some other shit to talk about there. Oh, here's another story. Hey, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute here. I didn't even see you. I'm sorry. Um, the yes, one more MTA news. Um, making New York City's transit system more equitable. I don't know what that means, but um, my mission as the MTA's chair and CEO is to make sure that we're leveraging every part of the system to make public transportation more accessible and equitable for New Yorkers. While subways and buses tend to be the modes of choice for most city residents, some could see a greater benefit from the commuter railroads. Riders living in Southeast Queens, for example, could save up to an hour of travel time if they opted for the Long Island Railroad instead of taking a bus and subway. That's precious time back to spend with friends and family. So why don't more people try it? Well, not too many people. Not too many people. Hold on. Not too many people take LIRR. I never took LIRR myself because of how expensive it is. So that's not really the forte here. So that's not really one of the things that I would take to go to work. So it's not really one of those things that I would actually use as a form of transportation. But because I take two buses to go to work, which I am going to do tomorrow, so I'm kind of used to taking two buses and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're late, um, it's better than being on. It's better than worrying about train derailments and signal problems and all the other stuff. So that's just me. Everybody has a preference on how to get to work, so it may not work for everybody. Um, yeah. So know that historically price has been the deciding factor in choosing a subway and bus commute over the LARR and Metro North. That's why it was so important for us at the MTA to consider intricity rail discounts when developing our package of new fare promotions, which were introduced last month. We landed it. We landed on an expansion of the existing city ticket to weekdays off peak. The city ticket program provides a $5 flat fare for one-way trips taken wholly within the five boroughs, like from Woodlawn in the Bronx to Grand Central Terminal or from Bayside to Penn Station. The deal was previously available on weekends only. Demand for the new ticket is off to a good start. More than 100,000 weekday city tickets have been sold since the launch. But I know we can do better. We're going to continue highlighting the benefits of city ticket, our new 20 trip ticket and monthly ticket discounts. Um, Saves 10%, especially as major service improvements come online for both LARR and Metro North, perfect for hybrid workers. East Side Access, our marquee mega project, is going to bring LARR service to Grand Central for the first time ever when completed later this year. This will allow us to increase service frequency by up to um, 30% at some stations. Meantime, the third track project is adding some much needed electable capacity on the main line, which serves Queens communities from Woodside to Queens Village and will provide reverse commuters more options, given the ability to run additional two-way service during rush hours. And we're not forgetting about Bronx residents who live in Metro North territory. MCA just awarded a contract for Penn Station Access, the project to build four new M and R stations in the East Bronx. a noted transit desert, the new rail options at Hunts Point, Morris Park, Co-op City, and Parkchester Van Ness will help cut travel times to Manhattan by as much as 50 minutes. It all comes back to our commitment to equity, the driving force behind everything we do at the MTA. Um, and this is from General Lever, the chair and CEO of the MTA. Okay, let's see. Let's see what else can we talk about here today. Um, hold on a second. So, okay. Um, hold on a second, folks. I want to make sure I don't miss any topics. Make sure I don't miss any topics and stuff. So we have. Let me see. Um. Okay. Yes, we are going to go to. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. All right, we're gonna go to Denzel Washington. All right. Yeah, let's go to Denzel Washington, man. I mean, the whole story has been brewing up and stuff, so I'm actually gonna yeah. Hold on a second here. Um all right, let's take a look here. um okay, okay, so Denzel Washington chimes in. After consoling Will Smith after Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars, Denzel Washington has now spoken publicly about what happened at last Sunday's award show. Washington amended author and Bishop T.D. Jakes' leadership summit on Saturday morning for a discussion about his career and faith when Jakes asked him about what happened between Smith and Rock at the Oscars. Well, there's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you are doing something wrong. The devil goes, "Oh no, leave him alone. He's my favorite." Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because he's trying to do something right. And for whatever reason, the devil got a hold of that circumstance that night. Washington told Jakes on stage. Washington was seen speaking to Smith along with Tyler Perry and Smith's publicist during the commercial breaks at the Oscars after Smith slapped Rock for making a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. Um, and during his acceptance speech for Best Actor, Smith thanked Washington and said that Washington told him, "At your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you." Fortunately, there were people there, not just me, but others. Tyler Perry came immediately over there with me, said some prayers. I don't want to say what we talked about, but for the grace of God, go any of us who are we who are we to condemn? I agree with this. I agree with this though. You know what I'm saying? I really do agree with this. I don't know all the ins and outs of the situation, but I know the only solution was prayer, the way I see it. Washington said on Saturday. Smith's public fallout over the slap has turned into the biggest crisis of his career. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences launched an investigation into the assault this week. And on Friday, Smith resigned from the Academy's membership. The list of those I have heard is long and includes Chris, his family, many of my dear friends and loved ones, all those in attendance and global audiences at home. Smith said in a statement Friday, "I betrayed the trust of the Academy. I deprived other nominees and winners of their opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for their extraordinary work. I am heartbroken. At his first stand-up show since the slap, Rock spoke about the incident in Boston, saying that he's still processing what happened and will fully discuss it at a later time. I don't have a bunch of shit about what happened. So if you came to hear that, I have a whole show I wrote before this weekend. Rock said at Wednesday night's show, I'm still kind of processing what happened. So at some point, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about that shit, and it will be serious and funny. Well, I don't know about all. I don't know if I could agree with that shit though, man. To be honest with you, man, and because as I said before, man, this is not a matter of right or wrong. It's about cause and effect, and what really triggered him to actually do it. So you can't, condemn somebody for one particular mistake. You know what I'm saying? And this has nothing to do with a woman's a woman's um it has nothing to do with a woman's pussy, okay? It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with this conversation. And I'm sick and tired of certain individuals in the group chat trying to fucking belittle the shit out of me, saying that I'm wrong when I do massive research online on my damn laptop. Okay. I'm not playing with anybody, man. Like, don't try to belittle somebody because they have a different perspective than you. You know what I'm saying? There's agree and there's disagree. I can't agree with everything that somebody says, and neither can anybody. Look, I can't please nobody, man. And I'm just gonna leave it at that though, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave it at that though, man. So there you go right there. Um, all right. All right. I am going to go to oh yeah. I didn't get a chance to talk about the manhole explosion. So this manhole explosion happened. Um, yeah. So in New York, part of Times Square was closed off Sunday evening after an explosion and fire in a manhole. It happened around 6:45 p.m. on West 43rd Street near 7th Avenue. Um, yeah, that's crazy, man. Earthcam video shows the moment people began scrambling out of the area. Con Edison says a power cable failure led to an explosion and fire in a manhole. Yeah. As firefighters worked to put out the fire, dark gray smoke came from that manhole, and two others, excuse me, filling the air. End quote. Once I seen the fire, the cops are telling me to back up. I slowly start backing up, but still I started like then again. I started proceeding like to the fire, and then it actually exploded right in front of me. And that's when I was just like I started running. Witness Lavia Pound said. Con Edison released the following statement late Sunday. We can confirm that a manhole exploded in the Times Square area this evening due to a cable failure, and another manhole was smoking. At this time, there have been no customer outages, no reports of injuries or property damages. Our crews remain on location. Um, of course, Maravik Jax told CBS 2's Talia Perez she's visiting from California and was running late to catch her tour bus when she heard the boom. You mean like the boom like this? Yeah, That part right there. Yeah, you mean a boom like this. We just missed it. We missed the bus, and it's just like 5 minutes of walking, and that's when the big loud. I mean, I'm still kind of nervous and shaking, she said. Firefighters evacuated people in the area as a precaution. Officials say uh, they found elevated carbon monoxide levels in an office building at 229 West 43rd Street. The FDNY says they mitigated the cellar and subcellar of the building. Con Ed says there have been no power outages as a result of the fire and no one was injured. So yeah, that's a relief. That has to be a relief for people, you know what I'm saying? That's a relief, man. And you know people need reliefs and stuff, man. And sometimes people need good news. I kind of get it. And I get it. I get it. Um yeah. Um okay, let's see. All right. Our next topic um is pertaining to, if I'm not mistaken, our next topic is pertaining to um all right. We need to talk about this Pusha T shit, man. Cause I just find it really crazy how he's making a diss track over McDonald's and why and hold on. We're gonna get into this story because this is really it kind of really I was like, what the hell? Like, hold on a second, man. So uh, according to Hip Hop DX, Pusha T linked up with Arby's earlier this week for a diss track aimed at McDonald's that took social media by storm. The record found the Diet Coke rapper dissing Mickey D's popular fish fillet sandwich, and it seemed like the track is bringing in a lot of money for Arby's. According to a tweet from business analyst Darren Rovell on Tuesday, March 22nd, Arby's collaboration with Pusha T is already paying dividends, and the fast food company are laughing straight to the bank. Um, okay, what the hell? First of all, why are you working at a fast food joint like Arby's and making a diss track over a damn fish sandwich? Do you know how stupid this sounds? Do you? And aren't you the same guy who is the CEO of Good Music? Like, come on, son. Are you really are you I'm not understanding this, man. But let me keep going, man. Let me keep going, man. Value to Arby's through 7 p.m. Eastern. $8,203,272 in equivalent advertising exposure, according to Apex Marketing Rover tweeted. Um, Pusha T jumped on Twitter to celebrate the news by sharing a few lyrics from his upcoming album, It's Almost Dry, out April 8th. I didn't even know he had an album. Critics came out of his mind. Haters, out he's out of his prime, yet always where the money's at, like lottery signs, he tweeted. Yeah, all right. Fans were enamored with Pusha T's spicy fish dish rhymes, given how left field the collaboration was, as well as his ability to sprinkle subtle cult rap references in the fast food commercial. I'm the reason the whole world loved it, he raps. Now I gotta crush it. Fish fillet is shit. And you should be disgusted. How dare you sell a square fish, asking us to trust it? A half slice of cheese, Mickey D's on a budget. Arby's crispy fish is simply it. With lines around the corner, we might need a guest list. Exit stage left. The sandwiches taste fresh. A little cube of fish from a clown is basic. The disc record was more than just Arby's taking a dig at the competition, though. As Pusha T explained to Rolling Stone, his bars were revenge for McDonald's not paying him handsomely enough for writing their ironic "I'm loving the jingle." I am solely responsible for the "I'm loving the swag" and the jingle of that company, he said. That's just real. I'm the reason. Now I gotta crush it. He added, I did it at a very young age, at a very young time in my career where I wasn't asking for as much money and ownership. It's something that's always dug at me later in life. Like, damn it, I was a part of this and I should have more stake. It was like a million or $1 million for me and my brother. No malice, but that's peanuts for as long as that's been running. I had to get that energy off me, and this ad was the perfect way to get that energy. Like, you know what? I'm over it. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, man. I kid you not, man. This right here, listen, I'm gonna tell you something right now, man. I'm gonna tell you something right now. You know, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Pusha T may be the greatest rapper, but working at a fast food joint, like what the hell? Like, are you serious? Like, oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh, man. Okay, first of all, the shit is laughable to me because you basically make a fucking diss track over a damn fish sandwich. That's a damn waste of time and a shame that you did that shit though, man. That's a damn shame, man. And over a damn jingle? Really? Come on, man. No need to really, I don't know, man. No need to be so butthurt over this shit though, man. Oh my gosh. This is crazy, man. Yeah, alright. Yeah, I wouldn't even do no shit like that over a damn fish sandwich. You crazy as hell. Oh man. All right. All right. Now, hold on a minute here. I did not know. Hold on a minute here. I did not know. Um, hang on a second. I did not know that. I did not know that. What you call it? That Questlove has. Um, yeah. Let's go to Questlove, man. I didn't know Questlove had a documentary. Summer of Soul. I didn't even know about this. I ain't seen no trailer for that shit too. Um, yeah, he won for that shit too. I forget. He won. I forgot that he won. Uh, wait a minute, man. Yeah. I forgot that he won that shit too. He um Hold on a minute. Yeah, he did. He did. So, all right. Okay. I did not know about Questlove's documentary trailer. I didn't even know about this right there. I did not know about this right there. So let's just get into it right here. So, um, yeah, this is just it's gotta be more. Hold on a second. All right, let's okay. So Amir Questlove Thompson's Summer of Soul or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised won the Oscar for Best Documentary Feature at the 94th Academy Awards. His directorial debut won over Attica, Flea, and Writing with Fire. He shares the award with producers Joseph Patel, Robert Fivolent, David Dinerstein. This is such a stunning moment for me right now, but it's not about me, Questlove said. It's about marginalized people in Harlem that needed to heal from pain. Just know that in 2022, this is not just a 1969 story about marginalized people in Harlem. He took a pause, saying he was overwhelmed by the moment. Um, the award was presented by Questlove by Chris Rock, who had just been struck by Will Smith following a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. Summer of Soul won the Grand Jury Prize and Audience Award when it premiered at Sundance in February 2021 and more recently won Best Documentary at the 2022 Independent Spirit Awards. It's also up for Best Music Film at this year's Grammys. Questlove currently has a documentary underway about Sly Stone and will be a co-producer alongside Mick Jagger on a forthcoming documentary series about James Brown for A&E. Follow all the Pitchfork's coverage of the 2022 Oscars and revisit Pitchfork's feature Questlove on restoring Black music history and making one of the year's best films. Well, congratulations to Questlove for winning the award. All right, we're about to make some noise for this one right here. All right, now that I got that out the way, um, okay, got that out the way. Um, yeah, let's go to Steve Payman. Okay, so Steve Payman, named president of Verse's live stream platform. We want to create a multi-faceted business where all of the stakeholders feel good, says Payman, formerly COO of Beyonce's Parkwood Entertainment. Mm, man, are you serious? Hang on a second. I know there's more to this story too. Um, yes, hold on a second here. Um, yes, so former president and COO of Beyonce's Parkwood Entertainment, Steve Payman, has been named the president of the music series Versus. The virtual music series was started by producers Timbaland and Swizz Beats during the initial days of the COVID-19 slamdemic. The series quickly became as famed artists from the past and present played their best hits while millions around the world watched. Um, yeah. Um, watch from their homes. The series eventually evolved from two artists playing their hits to live concerts, including last year's concert with Method Man and Redman to celebrate April 20th. According to a press release, Pamon will oversee Versus and manage its operation, including programming, live events, and partnerships. CEO Mahai D. Silver of Triller, which owns Versus, said in a statement that Payman is the right man for the job. Steve is a proverbial triple threat. His exceptional track record and reputation across Parkwood Entertainment, the NFL, and HBO, delivering global entertainment innovation, and his devotion to respect and lift culture makes his stewardship of the Versus brand the perfect match. D. Silva said, Versus is a cultural phenomenon, and Steve's leadership is a perfect complement to Swizz Beats and Timberland, who continue to create the iconic Versus events. Steve will accelerate the Versus platform to new heights. Under Payman's leadership, Versus will continue its support of artists and the hip hop and music culture. The series has been a big part of change in the media during the slandemic to live events you can watch from the comfort of your home. Swizz Beats and Timberland also allocated a portion of their equity in the Versus series to the 43 artists that initially performed in the series. The series is also expanding into Versus games, Versus icons, Versus sports, Versus comedy, and beyond. The two producers released a joint statement saying Payman wants to keep the same energy and artist first initiative of Versus. Versus was born in the culture and it thrived because it believed in it. Steve showed the culture nothing but respect from our first conversations. He said he understood what Versus meant to the millions of viewers who made it what it is and wanted to preserve the same energy and magic. This is another beginning for Versus. Wow, this is pretty ill, man. Congrats to Steve Payman. All right. Now we can go to yeah. Okay, so this is so all right, so Offset shows love for Cardi B's Gangsta Side, remind them where you started from. Offset and Cardi B are madly in love, and when it comes to supporting one another, they both go above and beyond to show it. The Up rapper recently made a return to the music scene by turning back the clock to her gangsta bitch music days, and Offset is loving every minute of it. Last month, Cardi B was seen filming a music video for the remix to New York drill rapper K Flock's song Shake It, and fans were hit with nostalgia when she dyed her hair red with a um, paisley pattern design. In another clip, the leader of the Barty gang was turning up to the max when she was vibing alongside fellow New York rappers Dougie B and Bori 300. Don't know why. Oh shit. A snippet of Cardi's verse found its way online and fans couldn't help but go crazy over how hard she sounded on Alias Beats produced record. Offset caught wind of fans sharing the clip and he gave his 2 cents to support his wife. I love when wifey be on the gangster's time. Remind them where you started from. Also tweeted in response. Um, Not everyone loved Cardi guest appearance on K Flock's song. Some fans felt the invasion of privacy rapper was jumping on the drill wave for clout and failing to understand she's always done songs and videos like Shake It. Let me tell y'all something. because I be trying to be nice and trying to keep peaceful, but y'all not going to keep fucking playing me. Cardi said before, showing text messages proving her K Flock collaboration had been in the works since February. Look at the dates right here. You see that shit says February 25th. That's when K Flock manager sent me this. She continued, if y'all see my videos, red bars, if you see my shit, pull up on me and y'all see how the fuck I did my shit. I always been doing videos like this. Well, well, you know, yeah, I'm not gonna knock these two people who are being themselves. You know what I mean? I mean, there's no need to change your image for other people. I mean, you can't please everybody. So, just keep doing you, all right? Just keep doing you. And you already got the success. So, let's see. What else can we talk about here? Um, what else can we talk about here? Um, yes. I want to get to the let's go to the We Were Hyphy documentary, and then I'll do the vegan burger shit after. Okay, so um all right, so We Were Hyphy is delighted to announce its world premiere as part of the prestigious Cinequest 2022 Film Festival. The music documentary captures the hugely kinetic hyphy movement and brings the sights and sounds of the San Francisco Bay Area's most influential musical movement of the past 30 years to life on screen. Um, yeah, on screen, and in this music documentary featured traces hyphy genius on Bay Area streets, which examines its influence with interviews from legendary figures such as Keep the Sneak. I swear, man, people with strangest names, man. Oh my gosh, man. Anyway, and Mr. Fab to modern day artists such as Kamaya, Raphael, um Castle, Pilo, and G Easy, who grew up during the movement and were deeply influenced by it. Historical context is provided by columnists and academics such as um Pand Pandavis, Harshaw, and Dr. Andrea L.S. Moore. Hyphy had a massive influence on me as a teenager, says Lawrence um, Madrigal, um, director of We Were Hyphy. I grew up in Antioch, and hyphy was everywhere. It was on the streets, in our cars, in our clothes, in the clothes we wore, and in the way we spoke. I've always wanted to share my love of hyphy with the world, and this film is a love song to the era. Okay, hold on. Let's see how much time I have here. All right, we can wing this. All right, so the film is beautifully shot, heartbreakingly sweet story detailing the highs and lows of the hyphy movement from its um inauspicious start, which saw a plethora of Bay Area artists crafting and selling CDs from the trunk of their cars, to an unwavering loyal fan base to who supported the artists and partied with a hedonistic abandoned at sideshows. It is a love song to all those who were brought together by the sounds of the hyphy era. The goal of the documentary is to give the audience to a look into hyphy and experience it from two perspectives, through the eyes of the artists who created the iconic sound and through the Bay Areans who grew up listening to the music, speaking the language, rocking the fashion, swagging the cars, and most importantly of all, getting hyphy. While hyphy had a massively formative influence on the kids growing up during the era, says Lawrence, I think there's a wonderful universality. No, universal universality to the film. Everyone feels that the music they listened to as teenagers was um, uniquely uh, special, and it really was. It didn't matter if you grew up listening to punk or hip hop or classical music. um the love you had for the music and the love you had for the friends and you shared it with stays with you forever. And it's this beautiful, almost lonesome nostalgia that we try to capture the film. It's a deeply personal film for me, and my sincere hope is and my sincere hope is that the film captures the essence of hyphy and does justice to the artists of the time, and most importantly of all, to the fans who shared in the experience. Okay. Okay. Make sure you go check that out. Make sure you watch it on whatever streaming platforms you have, where you get your movies and TV stuff. So there you go, right there. And our last topic of the night, I've been saving this for last actually. This is pertaining to what I seen while I was watching The Good Dish. And this is pertaining to a um slutty vegan one night stand burger. And this is really crazy to me. And I'll just say this though, man. Hold on. So the popular Atlanta-based plant-forward eatery Slutty Vegan is bringing New Yorkers their very own Brooklyn outpost this spring. From the founder and owner Pinky Cole, Bar Vegan, the Pinky Cole Foundation, the restaurant's upcoming branch will be its fifth location, joining the four currently open, as well as a traveling food truck in Georgia. Since opening her flagship location in 2018 in Atlanta, Cole has become a revolutionary leader in a plant-based food for slutty vegans, high energy mission, and approachable concept. Her goal was to reshape the way people viewed veganism by creating a fast casual restaurant with a playful aesthetic and a variety of flavorful impossible burgers and sandwiches. Hold on, man. This is laughable, man. Yeah. Yeah, on the menu, expect cheekily named options like the one night stand. The one night stand. Okay. Oh man, the one night stand. um the the heat the heat ux boy. Oh man. Okay, so it pertains vegan bacon, vegan cheese, caramelized onions, specialty slut sauce, Hawaiian bun, um, Hux boy, New Orleans style battered vegan shrimp, lettuce, tomato, pickle, and big dog, plant based bratwurst, sauerkraut, pretzel bun. Side include fried pickles and French fries, which are ideal for dipping in specialty sauces like blackberry mayo or agave mustard. Cole's Brooklyn. Um, Opening will mark her grand return to NYC after her first venture into food and hospitality. Pinky's Jamaican and American restaurant, previously located in Harlem, closed years ago due to a fire. Slutty Vegan will be taking over a corner location in Fort Greene, which for the past 2 years housed Plant Ford Eatery Broccoli Bar. This is a full circle moment for me, says Cole. It's an honor to be opening a concept in such an established space to bring more delicious food to the Brooklyn community. Of course, Slutty Vegan will open in spring 22 in spring of 2022, Thursday through Saturday at 690 Fulton Street in Brooklyn. Follow their Instagram page for updates and check out their promo video featuring actress Naturi Norton. Of course, what more thrillers? Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, and Snapchat. And by the way, man, I did go into the new TV show that's on right now on my TV on TMZ Hip Hop, and I didn't get a chance to feature that in the segment that I haven't touched in a long time. Um, that I haven't touched in a long time. It is called TV show checkouts, man. All right, so let's do that right there, man. You know what I mean? All right, let's do this. All right. Now that TMZ Hip Hop is on right now on my TV, as you can see, um, I'm about to actually let's I'm about to actually get into it right now. Where it's being aired. So where it's being aired and stuff. So basically um so basically um TMZ Hip Hop okay, there's a brand new TV show arriving this week, and this one's putting the spotlight on more than just pop culture, it's the culture of hip hop. TMZ Hip Hop which already premiered on Monday, um debuts debuted, and we're gonna bring you some fresh new takes on the hottest stories about the biggest celebs in the genre, from Bay to Yay, and everyone in between. We'll be covering all the hookups, parties, dramas, collabs, beefs, and much more. We've got a whole new crew pouring the tea: Amber Diamond, DJ Head, Cynthia Lucette, Rodney Rakai, and Tonio Skits will break it all down daily. Nothing and no one is off limits when it premiered on Monday, April 11th, which was 3 days ago on these stations. Obviously, in New York, it's at 11 p.m. And for the people outside of New York, Los Angeles, 2:30 p.m. Um, Fox 11, Chicago 12 a.m. Fox 32, Philly 12 a.m. Fox 29, Dallas 12:30 p.m. Fox 4, Houston 12:30 p.m. Fox 26, 10 p.m. on my 20, Washington D.C. 12 a.m. Fox 5, 6:30 p.m. Fox 5 Plus, Seattle 11:30 p.m. Fox 13, Phoenix 11:30 p.m. Fox 10, Minneapolis 11:30 p.m. Fox 9. If you are not in those cities, we still got you. The show will also be streaming on Fox Soul, and it all starts this Monday, which already started right now. Yeah, don't forget to download Fox Soul if you don't have it, to catch TMZ Hip Hop if you're not in any of these states. And of course, may I add, don't forget to actually don't forget to basically um you know listen to Questlove's podcast on Questlove Supreme. All right, and congrats to Questlove, and congratulations to the people in the TMZ crew that has TMZ Hip Hop. I'm actually been watching it, and it's pretty lit though, man. So there you go. Okay, everybody in the New York area, you looking for something to do? I got you. Um, okay, okay. So check this out. So you're looking for something to do? All right, I got you. So we're gonna start with the Queens Market. We're gonna start with the Queens Market. All right, we're gonna start with the Queens Market. Um, all right. The popular Queens Night Market at Flushing Meadows Corona Park is returning with a sneak preview event on Saturday, April 16th to help alleviate traffic and capacity issues from opening night in previous years. The event is selling a limited number of tickets for the preview event happening this Saturday as well as on Saturday, April 23rd. Uh okay, so the tickets are $5. The tickets are $5 and should be purchased in advance. Children under 12 are free. If any tickets remain unsold for either night, tickets will be $8 at the door. The event is pledging at least 20% of net ticket proceeds to charity and is taking suggestions for causes that are important to New Yorkers. To date, most suggestions from the public relate to the tragic conflict in Ukraine, so at least a portion of the funds will be allocated to that cause. The organizer hopes to also field suggestions for more locally focused charities to support. Last year, the event donated nearly $30,000 to Queens charities, providing relief for those impacted by COVID and for victims impacted by Hurricane Ida. I honestly can't believe we launched 7 years ago. It feels like yesterday, but also like a lifetime ago. Little did I know that this would become such an all-consuming and inescapable and integral part of my life, said John Wang, founder of Queens Night Market. Even more unimaginable back then, considering the countless amazing things this city has to offer, is that some people would come to call this a New York City institution. In any case, we'll work through the jitters and plan for contingencies the best we can, because we are so excited to see the beautiful smiles and to hear the wonderful laughs of New Yorkers here again. Queens Night Market will be free and open to the public starting on May 7th. The summer season is scheduled through August as usual, but the event will explore relocating for its fall season in September and October, as the current space may become unavailable then. Over its first 6 seasons, the Queens Night Market has welcomed nearly 2 million visitors, helped launch approximately 350 brand new businesses in New York, and represented over 90 countries through its vendors and their food. The event averaged over 15,000 attendees each Saturday night in 2021. Last year was the busiest year on the record for Queens Night Market vendors, despite the trademark price caps imposed on their menus. Food vendors averaged nearly $2,500 per night in sales. This season, the overwhelmingly popular $5 cap on food, with some limited $6 exceptions, will remain in place. I've been reading so many articles about the rising exorbitant prices appearing on menus these days. In some ways, I think this has redoubled our commitment to affordability as a kind of tiny counterweight to skyrocketing cost of living in the city, Wang said. But we're painfully aware that inflation affects our vendors' supply chains too, so we're controlling what we can and keeping their fees as low as we possibly can. Children's games will be reintroduced at the event this year, and signed copies as of the Queen's Night Market's award winning cookbook will also be available for sale at the event. The World Eats Here was co-authored by Wang and his wife, Storm Garner, a filmmaker and oral historian. This season is expected to include Afghan mantu and chapli kebabs, Indonesian cube pecan, and ate ate, Portuguese um, paste de nata, Filipino balat, dinuguan, and lugaw, Romanian cardo scallops, um, Mexican huaraches, Indian tandoori barbecue, and many more. The event also hosts plenty of art merchandise vendors, and the season will include vintage apparel, hand poured candles, travel photography, crochet toys, stationery, small batch soap, um, Hannah vintage brooches and ads, international handcrafts, NYC theme apparel, gourmet dog treats, uh, handmade jewelry, ceramics, and local art. The Queen's Night Market will continue to showcase several live performances every Saturday night. One major issue the event faced last year was the number of visitors who drove vehicles to the event, creating congestion and illegal parking concerns. Visitors are strongly encouraged to take public transportation where possible. The Queen's Night Market does not control the adjacent parking lot, and the event has recently been informed that both visitors and vendors which with vehicles should expect to find newly instated $15 parking fees. Okay, now another place I guess just talk about this last week has to do with the art installation in Times Square. Um, Raul Cordero, a Cuban artist, will reveal his new immersive art installation, The Poem in the Heart of Times Square, from April 8th to May 4th. It's difficult to create meaningful art for people in an era when their attention is scattered across so many mediums and technologies simultaneously. The poem seeks to stop time, reminding us that humans also have the capacity to invest in one thing at a time. Like listen to the secret dialogue of trees and read a haiku even when standing in the center of Times Square, Cordell said. Cordell's work project is dedicated to and inspired by the Cuban poet Renato Arenas. The art mixed with the overstimulating atmosphere of Times Square shows the artist's intentions of providing a unique yet transformative experience where visitors can momentarily transcend transcend the busy nature of the city. Playing to the monumental scale of Times Square, the poem merges poetry and the natural world to physically ground us and hold open a contemplative space in a place that is fundamentally reliant on our fractured intention. Times Square Arts Director Gene Cooney said. Along with the project, Cordero will feature a text based video across billboards with New York City's diverse poetry community. The exhibition will include Latasha Nevada Diggs, Palo, Avia, Barry Swapsky, and more that will provide an evening of poetry readings and live performances celebrating the poem and the poetry community. The poem is brought to you by Times Square Arts with support from the Rockefeller Brothers Fund and in part support from Morgan Stanley, the New York State Council on the Arts, with the help of Governor Kathy Hochul, the New York State Legislature, and public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs with the City Council. Okay, let's see. All right, so these are the. All right, so let me just double check on something to see if I covered every single topic. I think I covered everything. Let me check. I think I covered everything. I'm gonna check right now. I think I covered everything. Let me just check to see. Yeah, I think I covered everything. Um, Whatever topic I don't get to, I will actually get to that another time. So we're gonna get to the wrap up. So I'm gonna wrap this show up right now. Um and you like what you heard in today's episode, please feel free to show some love by making a charitable donation to my Cash App, $ G Money Stacks 555. That's $ capital G lowercase MONEY, capital S, lowercase TACKZ 555. And of course, make sure you it doesn't matter how much money, it doesn't matter if you have a lot of money or not. It's all about doing the best you can on what you are comfortable with. The amount that you are able to afford is what really matters, and it will be appreciated. So don't worry about that. I'm gonna go to the last segment, which is stream choices on the go. Make sure you follow me on make sure you follow me on 17 Live, and also follow the show on Facebook and Instagram alongside with um yeah off the Meat Rat Chainz New York podcast on Facebook and Instagram, alongside with the other podcast shows, Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast. I just dropped episode 22 today. And Meticulous Virtues Podcast. Make sure you follow that as well. And along with me, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Make sure you turn on your notifications, all right? Very important that you turn on your notifications so you won't miss a beat. So there you go, right there. I am going to actually go through the audio streaming platforms. Make sure you subscribe to all the audio streaming platforms, and which I am going to mention right now. And also, you can leave a voice message with you can leave a voice message in your in the Anchor page where it has the list of episodes. When you go to the link in bio, you're gonna see the name of the show, the name of the podcast, and you're gonna click on there, and it's gonna take you to the Anchor page, anchor.fm page, where all the episodes are being posted. You're gonna see the word message. You go to message, make sure you tap on that, and then you leave your voice message for any questions, any thoughts and talks about the topics and stuff like that. So there you go, right there. And speaking of Anchor, this is where the show is. This is where the New York podcast is on, which is Anchor, Audacity, or Audible, Audio Burst, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podbay, Podfriend, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts. Don't forget to give a 5-star rating to Podchaser, Podfriend, and Spotify. And also don't forget to listen to the new and previous episodes of Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York podcast on Radio Public, iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcast. Make sure you follow that as well as my other podcast that's also on iHeartRadio as well. And last but not least, the YouTube. Make sure you grab that subscribe button so you could know when the show is going to be on the air by tapping that noti bell, so you could be reminded of what time the podcast is going to be going live stream on YouTube. And of course, make sure you stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes. Make sure you catch up on the new and previous episodes that's already been dropped on YouTube and along with other audio streaming platforms. Leave a like and a comment alongside with the episodes. Share the episodes, download the episodes, share the videos, tell a friend to another friend, and share the podcast along with the link that says Linktree / G Money Stacks 555 with all the audio streaming platforms. Make sure you catch up to all the episodes that's been posted. All right. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you rate. Make sure you provide word of mouth. It's very important. So, all right, I'm about to be out of here, man. Thank you very much for listening, tuning in, and rocking with me. I do appreciate you. I'll see you guys next time on Saturday, where I'll probably do back-to-back episodes, either one or two, depending on how I feel when I come back from work. So yeah. Thank you very much for listening, tuning in, and rocking with me. I'm off this shit. Peace and one love. Have yourselves a good night.